Patients and caregivers across the region can benefit from an upcoming unique learning opportunity focusing on practical strategies for navigating serious illness, as well as increasing awareness about palliative care services. Joining me in the studio is Hospice Niagara's Executive Director, Carol Nagy, and also Niagara Caregiver Network's Coordinator, Alexander Plato. Carol, we'll start with you. Why don't you just tell me a bit about the Palliative Care Education Day?
We're so excited to bring this event to Niagara. We have two expert physicians in palliative care, Dr. Sammy Winemaker and Dr. Sien Sao, who have written a book, The Waiting Room Revolution, and are also coming to Niagara to speak to the general public about what they've learned on how to navigate this very important time in people's lives.
And I think, Alexander, maybe you can touch on the fact that, caregivers have such a unique experience that often gets overlooked.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that caregiving can be a very rewarding role, but it also comes with its own sets of challenges. And I think, as we all know, our healthcare system is overburdened at this moment, and navigating that and trying to advocate for your loved one can be increasingly difficult, especially if you're not prepared to be a caregiver. I think that it's incredibly important that we have events like this that help empower caregivers and show them the tips and the resources that they need to better care for their loved ones and care for themselves in turn.
And so at the event, I understand that those who are going to be able to take home the books as well.
They'll take home the book, but also importantly, they're going to be able to ask their questions to the two speakers. And then we have at least 15 to 20 experts in this area they can also ask their own personal questions. So the event starts at 4 o'clock, the doors open, and that's time for people to come in and just spend time with providers and ask their questions. And then our two speakers will begin at 6 o'clock.
And just speaking of questions, what are some questions that you find caregivers are often asking that, I'm sure some of our viewers would like to know?
I think the biggest one we always hear is, where do I start? Where do I get the information that I need? How do I get the help that my loved one might need? And I think that despite all of the struggles and despite some of the questions that are asked, if they don't get the answers, caregivers are a resilient bunch. And I think that they continue to try, they press on, they look for the answers that they know that their loved one needs. And so I think that that's really important.
And so for this event that's coming up, what would you say is the overall objective?
It's to help people, it's to arm them. I'm going to say it that way. Mm-hmm. It's to arm them with this information even before they're in a caregiving role. So often we hear, I wish I would have known. Mm-hmm. And we really want to start to address that early. Caregiving, as Alex said, is complicated, and waiting until you're already overwhelmed in the role is almost too late. So let's have this conversation with people. Let's give them all the information they need to have those critical conversations with healthcare providers and with their loved ones ahead of time. Let's plan for this, because we know most of us are going to be in a caregiving role at some point in time.
Yeah, we can almost use this as part of our toolbox to be able to help support. And so how do people register?
They go online. I'm going to let Alex, I can never remember these sites.
Alex, you take it away.
So people can go online. They can head to thewaitingroomrevolution.com/events and register online.
Okay. And online, all of the information is there, I suppose?
Yes, so all of the information, the location, dates, times will all be online.
So what advice do you give to those who are watching this interview and are A, either thinking ahead, or B, in the thick of it right now?
Come to the event. I think that there is going to be so many things shared and learned between caregivers and between these great keynote speakers that will arm people for journeys to come.
And in terms of, if people are questioning, is this something I really should attend, or they're just nervous?
This is a wonderful opportunity. It really is a session that you can bring all of your questions. You can learn from other people that have been in the role, and you will be using this information in the future. So it really is an opportunity for Niagara to get together and talk about that important role of caregiving together.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for joining me in the studio today.
Thank you.
Thank you.